All right. Hi, Sarah. Today we're here to talk a little bit about the Early Start Denver model, which is what you've kind of been interested in implementing with Cole. So we're going to go through a little bit about what the Early Start Denver model is, and then one strategy that I think we should really start on with Cole, because the model works on a couple different strategies, but the first one I want to start focusing on is imitation. And so we'll kind of go through what that looks like and what that looks like while you're implementing that with him. All right?
Okay.
All right. So, the Early Start Denver model is an intervention system that's specifically used for toddlers and preschoolers with autism. So, it's a really early intervention, really based intervention. The intervention is play based, so it's all through fun, engaging activities that the child is kind of starting on their own, and you're just playing with them and providing intervention instead of you setting up the activity and kind of forcing them to back to activity. It's very much they're guided in whatever they want to do. They kind of guide you in the intervention. It really focuses on social learning and that social cognitive development, ultimately to improve skills in communication, imitation, sharing, joint attention, and play. So those are the five skills that this intervention really focuses on, which are the deficits we mostly see in kids with autism.
Okay.
So it's really most effective in a one-on-one setting. It can be done in a small group setting or in a classroom, but it's most effective in a one-on-one setting, and it can be given by teachers, therapists, or parents. So it can be really anyone who has kind of been given a little bit of a training.
Okay.
So as we know with Cole, who you're looking into giving it to, he struggles a little bit with imitating what you're doing. And imitation is one of those big skills that we see typical developing children do. And it's really important skill because it's a way that we tend to learn as adults and as children. It's a big learning tool for children. Often children can watch someone do something and remember that skill for a long time without even practicing it. They really have that capacity to watch something and then do it later without practicing it, which is a pretty cool skill. It's something we really want for our kiddos with ASD to do as well. So the reason that our brains are able to do that is because we have these things called mirror neurons. What they link actions which we see and then we can do. So that's why they're called a mirror neuron. Mirror neurons fire in the brain both when we perform an action and when we see it performed.
Okay.
So they're really important. Imitation is super powerful when learning how to socially interact with others.
Okay.
So what does that mean for kids with autism? They're really less likely to imitate gestures, actions, words. Brain scans have showed that although the mirror neurons are not used as much, they're not damaged. And so they are definitely, with practice and a lot of practice, they will start using them more and more. And so we know that they're not broken, they can still be used. And so one potential reason that those individuals with ASD might not imitate as much is because they're not necessarily motivated or they're not paying attention. And so using this intervention, it's really they're motivated by the activity that you're playing with them, or they're really paying attention because they want to do whatever they're initiating that play with, and so it helps them stay motivated. It's a great way to learn imitation. So we want to help them learn it so that they can not miss out on any learning opportunities, because it's really important that they have those learning opportunities typical as their peers. It's kind of why we think that sometimes they have some of those big delays is because they're not imitating similar to typical developing kiddos. And then they don't really necessarily figure out new things, and it's one of the most effective way to figure out how to do something new.
Okay.
And then it really also enhances social relationships. So we really want them to have those skills, especially when they start building those social relationships when they get older.
Okay.
So what does that mean for Cole? And how are you going to work with him on imitation? So we're going to kind of go through that right now.
Okay.
There's 5 steps, so we're just kind of going to go through each step. And I know Cole really loves to play with his farm and the farm animals, and so I think this would be a really great activity to start with, and just like for you two to build off of. when you are working on your imitation skills. So the first thing that we really want to do is imitate Cole's sounds. So you're going to be really kind of his mirror. You're going to be the one imitating him to kind of get him to pay attention to what you're doing. So say you're playing with the farm animals and he says moo, you might say moo after him, just repeating that moo. He says oink oink, you say oink oink right after him. So really imitating his sounds and what he's doing. Hopefully that will get his attention to what you're doing. And he'll start to understand like you're imitating him.
Okay.
The next big thing that we can do is like imitate what he's doing with his objects. So if he's having the horse run, you might pick up the horse next and have it run too.
Okay.
Or if he's having a cow eat grass, you might pick up the pig and have it eat grass too. Okay. So kind of imitate the same things that he's doing. The same motions, same actions that he's doing. If he's so just along those lines, really imitating what he's doing.
Just following what he does.
Kind of following exactly what he does. Exactly that. And then the next step would kind of be to follow their hand gestures and body and facial movements. So really just like when, I think it's kind of hard to give an example of that, but you notice like when he's playing, he might clap his hands because he's excited about something, or he might get angry because he's having a hard time getting the hay up to the thing. Exactly. So you might imitate his angry face and show him what he looks like, and kind of really help him with those imitations of showing his facial expressions, or he's happy, be happy and excited with him too. Okay. So those are the three things that you can really imitate him. And then once you've kind of started doing that, you want to start expanding on those things. So you imitate, and then you might expand on that. Okay. So say he's running with his horse, and you might say, "Oh, the horse is galloping," teaching him that word galloping, and then you might say, "Oh, the pig is running," So just really like expanding on his vocabulary. And then you might say, "Oh, the horse is running," and then it stops to drink some water. Just expanding that and seeing if he's then starting to imitate your actions. So you're kind of making that next step and seeing if he starts to imitate those actions. So just like really, you can do that with so many things, even just like eating breakfast. Like you give him a spoon to eat his oatmeal, and then you might have him, like you help him the first time, and then you might have him kind of do it himself the second time, or something like that. So you can do it with a lot of different things. Okay. And then we really want to just start playing more, kind of tying it all together with like joint attention activities. So joint attention being that like you and I are sharing the same attention on the same thing and taking turns with it. So like that's a big skill. That's kind of a whole other skill that we will work on eventually, but we can kind of start that with this skill. Say clapping hands is such a common one. So if I clap twice, and then we might see Cole clap twice, and just kind of work on him imitating you, but also taking turns with that. Okay. I think we do it pretty easily, and we don't even think we're doing it when like we're singing songs or we're looking at different things. Typically, like we say something and then they say something back. So really just bringing attention to him and praising him when he does do it, when he does imitate you, and it is a turn-taking thing, and he waits for you to do it again. Okay. So those are like the big. So do you have any questions for me about the whole intervention process?
So then I'm in the joint thing. Am I supposed to wait for him to do something and then I imitate it?
Yes, I would kind of, with the joint attention, that's definitely a skill that, definitely like one of the last ones we learned. We're really working on imitation, and maybe this is something we've built up on him. Okay. You've already got him imitating and building on your imitations. But yeah, if say like he goes and he claps twice, or he does a pattern, you might do 2 claps too right after him, and then if that gets his attention, he might start doing it again. You kind of play on.
And you go back and forth, back and forth.
Off of his
you just try to imitate exactly what he's doing, and then get him to try to do it again.
Yeah, maybe try to get it back again, and you guys are kind of doing it together,
back and forth, and he'll see that it's sort of a game that we're going back and forth and taking turns.
Definitely, doing the same thing. And if you see that he's starting to get bored with a certain activity, you can always pull out some other things, see that what motivates them. We don't want them to get bored. We don't want them to lose that motivation in playing with you. and interacting with you.
So I just
definitely
keep
pull some of
with
the things.
him on the things that he's doing.
Yes.
Like, so if he goes off and starts playing with another toy, I go over
Yes.
and start imitating what he's doing, and then try to get him to imitate what I'm doing, and go back and forth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Okay.
works perfectly.
Okay.
Any other
Great.
questions?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
You're welcome.